The Northwest Comic Show. The Northwest Comic Show. The greatest thing ever.
Hey, the Northwest Comic Show had a chance to go to Wizard World. Thank you, Wizard World. And we have some clips and things we're going to show you right now.
Hey, it's Casey Okupi with the Northwest Comic Show. We're here with Chris51. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm real good, man.
Excellent. All right. So I took a look at your website and look at some of your work. I was curious, what is your favorite piece of art, and then your favorite that you've done?
Oh man, it's hard to pick one favorite, especially going around to different Wizard Worlds and artist alleys and seeing all the exceptional artists around there and stuff. So it's like every show I have a different favorite. You know what I mean? My favorite tattoos are anything that I get to do that I love, like geeky stuff, like Simpsons, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, that sort of stuff. So I think every week it's a new favorite, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. I saw some of the Simpsons stuff that you had on there, that you did paintings of.
Yeah, well, I'm from Springfield, Oregon, you know, home of the Simpsons, Springfield, Oregon. So I have a special love for doing anything Simpsons. So.
Cool. Now, I know that it looks like your son's a big part of your life. Right? Yeah. Do you two put Lego sets together, or have you in the past?
We do all that stuff.
Yeah?
We do Legos, we get down and play Star Wars figures, you know, and he has me fake tattoo him all the time. He's like, he's awesome. 6, he comes in, he's like, Daddy, tattoo me. So I'll lay him down on the table like a real client, and I'll just use a pen inside of a tattoo machine instead of a needle, and yeah, we go to town.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Do that with my kid.
It's cool, they love it, man.
Some tattoos and stuff. Now, you've written like a variety of different types of books. You know, sports books, one about flower tattoos, along those lines. What's the next book? That's what I want to know. Because you did like 4 different kinds.
I've done a lot. I've got 2 in the works, actually. I have one on our local minor league baseball team, like the history of the team. Because it's about all there is to do in Eugene, Oregon. They're called the Eugene Emeralds.
The Eugene Emeralds.
So I'm doing a history on the Eugene Emeralds. And then I've started kind of putting together a autobiography / how to do it in business and how to be a good dad, because no one wants to read just about me, so I had to throw some other stuff in there, you know.
That's really cool.
You know, about the behind the scenes of the TV show and what it's like to be a tattooer, and you know, all kinds of stuff, just from a dad and a businessman and hopefully a good, you know, morally good person. I just kind of wanted to share what I've learned and what I've done. So
it's excellent. So it's got like balanced stuff in it.
Yeah. I'm not pretentious enough to think anyone wants to just read 200 pages about me. So there are like 180 about other cool stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've got a variety of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So,
and a geeky tattoo book.
Oh, and a geeky.
Yeah, all geeky art, like tattoos, and a lot of my other artists that are like graphic designers and comic book artists and stuff. I've just a lot of fan art. Cool. So I'm just collecting. I have so much of it. I'm collecting, and I'm putting that all out in a book too. So.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Fan art. All right. Well, you know, now you have a tattoo of a cookie. Is that right?
I do.
Can I ask how that happened, or what's that about?
I love cookies, as you can tell from this sexy thing right here. You know, I love chocolate chip cookies, and really that is all the moral justification that I needed to get a giant monster cookie taken up my whole butt cheek.
Yep.
And then there's a little bite out of it with little crumbs going towards like no man's land. You know what I mean? So
it's about the love of cookies.
It is about the love of cookies, and it's also about not taking yourself too seriously.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? So it's both, for sure.
All right, good. I mean, I think we got some good stuff.
Right on.
Don't take yourself seriously. Love your kid. Fake tattoos, you know. Don't do the real ones yet. Wait a little while.
Wait till you're 18.
Yeah. So I think we're good. Is there anything that we need to look at? Like, how can we find out more information about you?
Chris51, anywhere. Chris51, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know. Come check me out at Wizard World, Geekster Inc. booth. I started this whole tattoo tour exclusively at Wizard Worlds. and I got the best artists in the world tattooing nothing but geeky stuff that you're there for, you know. So
Well, I really like your blending and everything. It's just
thanks, man.
Totally amazing stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, that's it.
Hey, I'm Casey Okupi, and this is the Northwest Comic Show. Thank you, you guys. And it's a show. What we do here, we talk about pop culture stuff, like comic books, movies, music. You know, some things that you see in movies, and some things are like weapons, like aggressive fighting battle weapons. And today we have Trystan Nguyen with us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy to be on set.
Good, great. I appreciate it. Yeah. And you forge blades and things. Is that right? Am I saying all that correctly?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
My most recent project is a Bowie knife with an antler pommel.
Oh, can I take a look at that? Cool, cool. Now this is gonna hurt when people have to hold it.
That's what I use for the pins.
Oh, okay. Nails, right? So how do you file those off?
Yeah, I file off both ends and take a ball peen hammer to the sides and then put it on anvil and...
Nice. Okay. This is really cool. I like it. What is this? Where'd you get this? I mean, it's metal, but where do you get that?
The blade is made out of a railroad spike that's been pounded out and sharpened.
A railroad spike? It's hard to say that a bunch of times real fast. I feel dumb. So it's a railroad spike that you made this out of.
Yes.
Cool. All right. I want to
that's
put
a
this
little
one
bit more
back down.
prominent in this one.
Oh. So with this one, look at that. We can see that it's a railroad spike. I'm doing better. I'm getting better at that. Cool. Look at that. That's crazy. So I've seen in movies, which are all based in reality and facts and things, that you take metal and you stick it in fire and you hit it with a hammer, and then it equals a sword, right?
That's kind of the process.
Yeah. All right.
The way that I found out how to do things is you need your forge and your fire going on, and then you put a forced air supply in the bottom to add more oxygen to the fire, which makes it burn hotter.
Whoa, so you have some air device that blows air into your fire. Cool, okay. That's awesome. Where did you learn to do this?
The way that I learned how to do this is a lot of it was kind of Google and go, but
Google, sweet.
you know the internet never lies.
I love it. You know what I love is when I don't know how to do something, and I'm not trying to like promote anything, but I look on YouTube and then I look at how to do it, or I Google it like you just said, then I know how to do it after that. Because I watched the tutorials. So that's kind of what you did, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you Googled it.
Yeah. The setup that I saw and I've been working on is it's a little bit of a brick forge, so you stack up all the bricks, have your little hollow area so the air can go up in the bottom, and you put a grate on top and then stack bricks around it to hold in the heat.
Okay, a grate on top. So do you put like the pieces of metal on top of the grate on top? Is that what you do?
You kind of sandwich it in with the coals so that you can like maximize that heat on the surface area.
So it goes into the coals. And then how do you know when it's, then you take it out and you put it on an anvil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you beat it with something?
Yep.
What do you use?
I use a hammer.
Okay. Like a regular hammer?
Yeah, like not like those rock ones.
Okay. I don't know. All right. So you use a regular hammer. And how do you know when it's ready to come out of the fire and do that?
It was a little tricky for me to figure that part out at first. Sometimes it was too cold when I was pulling it out. Sometimes it's a little too hot. So I got a nice pair of tongs down at Goodwill, and you pull it out a little bit, and if you see that if it's yellow, then you can take it out and you can start beating on it. But if it's too dull of a color, like if it's not at least cherry red, you got to put it back in, or else you'll damage the metal.
Okay. So is yellow a color that happens after red?
Yeah, it goes kind of like a really dull red, kind of like a maroon, and then it goes to a cherry red, and then kind of like an orangish yellow, and then to a bright yellow, and that's as hot as I've heated it up so far.
Okay. So it gets to bright yellow, and you hammer it. Okay, I'm gonna grab like this little this is like a throwing knife, right? This is super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can imagine this on some kind of like a movie where someone's very primal and they throw it into like the body of a bad guy, I would think. Hopefully, right? So, yeah, this is really awesome. Was this a railroad spike?
That one was made out of rebar.
Rebar. So, yeah, so you're getting these different metal resources wherever you can. How much are, like, okay, let me put this down here. I was gonna throw it to Benjamin, but now, how much of this materials, like this piece, I mean, did you buy this or did you find it?
I tend to
Just
go.
curious.
I tend to go out and try to find my metals. It gives it more of like a video game kind of feel. Like you're going out,
So
you're collecting your
cool.
materials, you're bringing it back and starting to work with it.
Nice. So you go out and you find the metal and then you, that's really cool. And that's economical. It's called economics. Get used to it. So that's awesome. All right. Now, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
16. That's when you need to start making your swords and knives. Unsupervised, by yourself. Everyone can do it. I take all that back. Only professionals. Okay? He's a professional, technically. I mean, you don't know this. But he's a professional.
Try to be a professional.
Okay, what's this say?
This is the blacksmithing business that I chose. It's called Fluid Forge Blacksmithing.
Okay. Fluid Forge Blacksmithing.
I feel like it kind of represents the hobby that I've chosen.
Cool. All right. Where do we find out about Fluid Forge, like social media? How do we look you up?
Well, I am on Facebook, and that'd be at facebook.com/fluidforge blacksmithing.
Okay. It's on Facebook. We all got a Facebook. Fluid Forge Blacksmithing. So we Google that, or we find it on Facebook. All right. Now, let me see. How long, like, let's say I had a little piece of rebar, little old me, and I wanted to start, hitting it with hammers in the fire and stuff. How long does it take to go from rebar to this?
That knife took me about 5 hours to complete.
5 hours. Okay. So, how much does this one cost?
That one
curious.
I sold for $15.
All right, so it's already sold. It was $15. So, all right. So we haven't figured out how to do the process where it's more than $3 an hour yet. All right, we're working on that. We're working on that. That's the next step. So cool. All right, so it takes about 5 hours to go from rebar to this. That's what I was wondering, how long that process was. All right, so let me see. What's the biggest one that you've made?
The biggest knife that I've made would either be this one or my most recent project.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me see this.
Of course.
Now, okay, this goes in here, like this. Did you make this?
Yes. I glued all the pieces together, and it's just made out of some rulers.
Rulers. So the whole thing is rulers, except for the metal, obviously.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So, that's really cool. It's a secret ruler thing, Cool. So what is this, may I ask?
That is made out of high carbon sheet metal.
Sheet metal? Okay. So you're using how many different kinds of metals have you selected to use so far?
I've worked with about, I'd say about 5 different types of metal. I've had the your rebars, the railroad spikes, some bolts, wrench, like one of those, I don't know, auto body wrenches.
Okay, an auto body wrench?
Yeah.
Those things are like heavy duty. Yeah. So, like density or whatever, does any of that factor into the metal in the process?
Honestly, I'm still kind of figuring that out.
Okay.
But
it's a process, So.
I found out that as long as it's a high carbon steel, it's most likely to perform well as a knife.
Cool. Okay. Well, I don't know which one's your favorite here. I mean, are these for like gutting bad guys?
Those are karambit knives, so I found out that the style for holding these types of knives is kind of a reverse.
Yeah.
So it made me think that it's kind of like a scorpion fighting style.
Nice. You know what this reminds me of? Yeah, I could totally see Scorpion But it reminds me of, let me see, Steven Seagal, because he did a lot of knife fighting like this in Under Siege. It was always backwards like that. So yeah. So when you're mad and a bad guy's trying to get you. So this is really cool. Let me check this out. I'm gonna see if it's sharp. It's pretty sharp. I better not play with it. I'm gonna put it down and I'm not gonna play with it. So did you say that was your favorite, those guys?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite knives.
Okay. Well, what's a goal of a knife, or are you gonna make have you made a sword?
I've made a couple swords. I made a rapier most recently.
Oh, wow. I want to see that. You're going to have to bring that next time because that's awesome. Yeah, that's the same kind that like the musketeers used, right?
Yeah, and I think that's an Elizabethan rapier.
I think, can anyone guess what kind of sword I want? Anybody in the audience? No? He-Man! That's what I want. I want a He-Man battle sword. So I'm going to find a big fat piece of metal and I'm going to give it to you. And you're going to charge me like $1 million probably, but that's fine, whatever. Because I want a He-Man sword, right?
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. So should people find pieces of metal and call you? And go, I want a He-Man sword, or I want a rapier.
I would be okay with that.
You'd be all right with that? So after high school, because you're, what, you said 17, is that right?
Just about,
16, yeah, you're 16. So after high school, are you going to be a sword maker and blade knives?
I hope to continue it as my primary hobby, yeah.
Nice.
Because I don't want to stop until I can at least make a beautiful katana.
Wow, like one of those ones where Kevin Costner will take a scarf off and just drop it on and it just cuts just automatically?
Yeah.
Like in Bodyguard. Did you ever see that? No?
I haven't seen
that. Have your parents seen that? Bodyguard. He takes Whitney Houston's scarf off and he just like, he goes, breaks in half.
Wow.
Yeah. Is that the kind you want to make?
It's a goal.
All right, cool, cool. And you're gonna start going to Comic Cons and stuff, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it at the Comic Cons, right?
If you'll let
get
me.
a booth. If I'll let you. I don't know. I'll think about it for a little while.
I have to bribe you with a knife.
Right. I think that would work, factually. I think that would really work. So cool. Well, hey, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to come on.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, it's awesome. Look at these things. Come on. We're here with Jerry Pesh with Pesceffects, right?
That's me.
Okay, now you have, is this blacklight reactive art?
No, this is my art on metal. It's metal prints that I do all my art on. It's heat sublimated where the ink is melted right on the metals.
So you melt ink onto metal.
Yep. Yeah, it's my style. I like to do a lot of layers in my pieces so that the metal shines through. They're all limited editions. I only do 50 of each piece. They're all signed and numbered. My paper prints, that being said, are all UV coated and they do react under black light.
Okay, so you got the metal ones, then we got the paper UV that are reactive under the black light. How'd you learn how to do this metal melting stuff?
You know what? I've been a rock and roll lighting guy for 20 plus years. I've always done artwork, and basically what I've found is when I started coming into the industry, the comic book industry, I wanted to come in with something unique and interesting, and I met some people that were doing art on the metal, and next thing you know, I started doing it, the first ones doing it on the large size, because this is as large as they do it right now, and it's become my thing. I've been known around, we've done 30 plus shows around the country, basically, selling my artwork like this, and people love the style, they love the way it looks, and it's cool. I just put my little flare of lighting on there, and any lights will reflect off the metal. It's just fun. People have a good time with it.
Okay, what I got is rock and roll. So you've been in rock and roll, lighting and everything, and that's the inspiration, you know what I mean? It's the heart and soul.
That, and I was a comic book collector for my entire life. I mean, I've read all these characters, I've played these games, I've watched these movies. I mean, it's really, when you have a passion for something, it's real easy to put your spin on it and do your feel for it so people can appreciate it.
You see what happens when you geek out, when you're into the pop culture, and then you intertwine rock and roll, then you get art like this. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure, definitely.
Cool.
The Northwest Comic Show. The Northwest Comic Show. ever.